things, people make it sound like it's impossible to come here. Last year, I don't know if we have the final figures, but almost 1 million people were legally sworn in as new citizens in this country. And as far as keeping families together, we're now at a point where, depending on the month, 7,000 to 9,000 unaccompanied minors without either parent are allowed in this country, and some just taken off to foster care to somebody who's completely unrelated to them. So it is not at all true to say that people can't find a way to come here. They have all these visas, and almost a million a year are sworn in as new citizens, and we are proceeding with the process. 8,000 to 10,000 kids left in here without their parents. Now, Mr. Homan, is it a criminal act to enter the U.S. without authorization between points of entry?
Yes, a violation of Title 8, U.S.C. 1325. It's a criminal act.
Okay, so yeah, a criminal act. Many of the illegal aliens we see across the southwest border have smartphones and luggage. They also, by the way, I'll stop right there. You're familiar with the border. Do you buy in this idea that all these people coming here are destitute, or are there some people that are pretty well off given where their countries they came from?
Well, people are coming from 181 different countries, so every country is different. But like I said, you go over the immigration court data, the vast majority of these people will be ordered removed because they don't qualify for asylum. They're using a loophole by claiming asylum, saying a few key phrases taught by the cartels to get released in the United States. Many don't show up in court, and those that do show up in court that get a final order removal won't leave because the Secretary Mayorkas has said to ICE, being in the country illegally on its own isn't enough for ICE to seek an arrest, which is just going to bring more people. They know they can enter the country legally. As long as they don't commit a serious crime, ICE isn't looking for them.
Okay. The media in this administration claim that many illegal aliens come from countries with poor economic conditions or crime. Are poor economic conditions, coming here from Brazil or whatever and have economic downturn, are poor economic conditions or general fear of crime, like if somebody comes in here from Chicago, Mexico, are they valid legal grounds for granting an asylum case?
No. Asylum is you're escaping fear and persecution from your home state government because of your race, religion, political affiliation, or participation in a specific social group.
Okay. Well, what happens to these frivolous claims that are made by illegal aliens released by the Biden administration, assuming they even apply for asylum in the first place, and many don't? And is there an impact on the courts and the USCIS?
Well, I'll let Mr. Edlow talk about CIS, but the courts are backlogged by millions of cases. Some of these cases are going to be out 7, 8 years. So it's had a tremendous impact on the immigration courts. But again, that's by design. You flood the court system, put the hearings out 7, 8 years, then the people build equities. And when they build equities, U.S. citizen children buy a house, it makes it more difficult to remove. Vast majority become fugitives. They'll ignore the court order. They'll go into hiding, waiting for the next giveaway, waiting for the next amnesty, waiting for the next DACA.
Now, I want to just clarify some numbers here so we understand the size of the program. As I understand it, in December, over 300,000 people entered this country and were allowed in or were gotaways who just got their way in. And when the last administration left office, that number was, depending on the month, 5,000 to 20,000. So it's increased by a factor of about 30 to 1. Is that accurate? 30 times more people coming into the interior of this country than 2 years ago?
Depending on what month you look at, but overall, like I explained earlier, total encounters were 5 times as many under this administration of Trump. And the gentleman to my left talks about percentages of people being removed under Trump, moved under Biden. Well, here's the difference. Percentages of 2.3 million is a lot different than percentage 646. It's not about percentages, it's about how many people you release in the country. And there's zero comparison between the Trump administration and Biden administration. In the 2020 data he's talking about, let's remember, there's COVID. Immigration enforcement in the interior was shut down. So, you know, the numbers are clear. The Remain in Mexico program, a game changer. People are going to still claim asylum, but they wait in Mexico. That was a game changer. People stopped coming. People stopped putting their lives at risk. People stopped selling everything they had to come to the United States to be released. And what happened after 2 months of Remain in Mexico? They stopped coming, which means less people died. Less women were sexually assaulted. The criminal cartels made less money, less drugs got into the country because the Border Patrol was 100% on the line, vigilant, doing their job.
Less people drowning in the Rio Grande, less people dehydrating in the Arizona desert. Amen. We'll give you one more question. If the vast majority of illegal aliens have no legal basis to enter and remain in the U.S., why is the Biden administration releasing millions of them into our country rather than detaining and deporting them?
Because they have the same data points I have. They know that a vast majority will get order removal. But if they're not detained, the chances of ever them leaving are very slim. Again, this is by design. There are thousands of empty ICE beds already paid for by the taxpayer, but this administration would rather put them in a hotel room at $500 a night with free medical care, 3 squares a day. And, you know, and the policies this administration is driving illegal immigration. They know, the cartels sell the fact, you can cross the border illegally, you get processed quickly, you get flown to the city of your choice at taxpayer dime, you'll be put in a hotel and be taken care of. And even when you lose your case, you're not going to be removed because the secretary told ICE, unless you're convicted of an aggravated felony or you're a national security threat, you're not a target for arrest. That drives more people to come.
Thank you.
Thank you.